Hey Super Mamas, it's Dr. Joy here and you are watching Delivering Joy MD TV. Welcome to Super Mama Sunday, and y'all, I have missed you so much and I am so glad that we are back together again. And look, I'm back just in time, y'all, to give you some Turkey Day tips. So inevitably, every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas, somebody winds up in the emergency room with a terrible stomach ache or nausea and vomiting or even food poisoning. So I'm about to tell y'all how to avoid this. So make sure you keep watching. All right, Super Mamas. So let's talk Turkey Day tips. So, okay, first of all, your girl loves Turkey Day. And I really had to kind of stop talking about Thanksgiving because I got a little bit conflicted as I began to learn about the history of Thanksgiving and what was done to Native and Indigenous folks here in this country. So, before I get off on a tangent about that, I'm gonna stop myself. But, we have to really own the things that happened in this country previously and the historical context of Thanksgiving. But that didn't stop me from really enjoying getting together with my family, because a lot of times when I haven't had an opportunity to get together with folks I haven't seen all year, Thanksgiving for our family became kind of like a family reunion. And there were, lots of traditions that we formed about that. So for us, Thanksgiving was a big family meal, and we got together and had an opportunity to see each other, play games, talk about things, catch up. And that turkey and dressing with that giblet gravy on point. So, I had to embrace my family's tradition and not necessarily the tradition of Thanksgiving, so that I could reconcile that. So I just call it Turkey Day. So we get together, we do that. And if that's not your tradition, that's cool. But I know that it is a big tradition. So for my super mamas out there, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving or you're just getting together with your family for a big meal, whatever it is that you're doing out here, I want to tell you how to avoid ending up in the emergency department with a rip-roaring stomach ache or nausea and vomiting or even food poisoning, which is even worse. So let's jump into these tips. So tip number one, and we've learned this already about food safety in pregnancy. It's really a big deal when you're having these big family meals where people are trying to cook for, 20, 30, 40, or if you like my family, 50 people, 50 vaccinated people. Let's just be clear about that, because everybody in my family has been vaccinated, except maybe a couple of outliers like, Juju and Uncle Junebug and all them folks, But my dad was not having it, he really got upset about people in our family not getting vaccinated. So the people who were not vaccinated are not coming to his house because, he acts the food. Yeah, he does. So anyway, no raw food, ladies, okay? Make sure that your food is fully cooked. Use a meat thermometer. Make sure that you are cooking your turkeys, your hams for adequate amount of time and that you're cooking them at the appropriate temperature. So no raw foods, no undercooked foods, okay? Make sure that you're cooking appropriately. And most times, if I'm talking to my mamas of color, we don't like food that is not well done. But if you're not a mom of color, or if your traditions are different and you like foods that are a little bit less cooked, or if you're a medium rare kind of girl, you definitely want to make sure your foods are medium well or well done, or your meats. Tip number two. Let's be careful about foods that have been sitting out all day, okay? So we know that many times at holiday times, people will just set stuff out on the counters and we like to nibble and graze and just kind of snack all day. Well, if it's food that should be refrigerated, you want to make sure that it has been refrigerated appropriately. And you don't want to eat foods like potato salad. My Auntie Wanda's potato salad is off the chisane. But if it's been sitting out all day and it should be refrigerated and you're pregnant, you want to be careful about that. Things that contain mayonnaise, cheeses, meats, especially pork, you want to be careful about consuming those things if they've been sitting out all day. So think about that before you just shove it in your mouth, because you know I am one of those people who loves to snack and graze all day. But be careful about those items because bacteria can grow on those items, especially things that have been placed in the refrigerator, taken out, placed in the refrigerator, taken out. So those are things that can certainly collect bacteria and can make you sick. And this is really how you can get food poisoning. So be careful about that, be mindful about it, and just use your best judgment when it comes to the things that you're going to put in your mouth. If you don't know the people who have made these dishes, consider that as well. So you know what I'm saying. You know you can't eat off everybody's buffet. You know. Tip number 3. Small, frequent meals will save your life, especially if you're in late second trimester or third trimester. The stomach cannot fully expand when the uterus is all the way up underneath your rib cage. So you don't want to be the one sitting there with a huge plate of food trying to shove all of that down. The stomach is going to rebel, y'all. So it is going to make you very nauseous. It's going to give you a lot of heartburn. And the next thing you know, you're in somebody's bathroom, embarrassed because you are throwing up all over their house. So don't do that. Try to have small, frequent meals, eat a little bit, talk a little bit, have fun, and then eat a little bit more. So just be real cautious about the large amount of food, because that's usually the number one thing that gives pregnant women really bad heartburn. They may develop burning chest pain, and then they have this nausea and vomiting, and it's just a bad situation. So go slow and eat small portions and just graze throughout the day versus trying to load up on the food right away. I know it looks good, it smells good, it tastes good, but try to just have small, frequent meals. And that leads us right into tip number 4. Try not to go crazy with the really spicy foods, the really greasy foods, the fried foods, or the foods that contain a lot of acid. And by acid, I mean things that have a lot of citric acid. So like lemons, pineapples, things that have a lot of those citric fruits. And then things that have a lot of tomato-based products in them. So like your marinara sauces, your pizza sauces, and then avoiding the stuff that is really, really spicy. These things really cause bad heartburn, and heartburn can cause chest pain. So after you've had this wonderful meal with all your, friends or family, you end up in the emergency room with chest pain. So now you're getting an EKG and chest x-rays and all this stuff when really you have bad heartburn. So be careful about the really greasy, fried, spicy, citrusy foods, or foods that have a lot of acid in them, because that can wind you up in the ER. Tip number 5, and this is one that we may not even think about, but something that we definitely need to be mindful of, because there's so much misinformation out here about this one. But tip number 5 is this, y'all. No alcohol, okay? Not a glass of wine, not a champagne toast, not a shot of Patron with your friends, because there's a lot of misinformation out here where people say that after your first trimester, it's okay to have a drink or two or a glass of wine with dinner. And honestly, guys, that is not true. I used to think, and I'm an OBGYN, I used to think that it wasn't harmful to have a glass of wine with dinner. Well, the truth of the matter is no amount of alcohol in pregnancy is safe. Babies' brains are developing throughout the entire pregnancy, and every baby has a different level of sensitivity with alcohol. So you never know which baby will be more affected by that one glass of alcohol that you have during your pregnancy. Some babies have a higher tolerance than others, and you cannot predict which babies will respond to that alcohol. So it is safe for you just to have no alcohol during your pregnancy. So no amount of alcohol is safe at any point during your pregnancy. Did you know that alcohol is the #1 cause of preventable birth defects? Y'all, I did not know this. I didn't know this until I volunteered to become a fetal alcohol spectrum disorder educator for the American College of OBGYNs. And so as I began to educate myself, I realized, wow, there are so many children in the United States who experience neurodevelopmental disorders because of alcohol consumption in pregnancy. And so be careful about that. Just, have some sweet tea, ginger ale, whatever. No liquor, okay? No beer, no wine, no liquor. Just don't do it. And of course, if all else fails and, the food gets too good for you, or you just gotta have that spicy gumbo, come on in and we'll see you, and we'll take great care of you. Because if you're having really bad heartburn, this chest pain, and you're not really sure what's going on, you need to be seen. If you're vomiting or you think you may have food poisoning, you need to be seen. And of course, if your stomach is bothering you or you're cramping and you're not sure if that could be potentially preterm labor, you just need to be seen. So every labor and delivery unit has 24-hour doctors that are on call and nurses that are right there waiting to see you. So if you feel like you need to be seen, come on in, girl. We'll be here. All right, super mamas, I hope that today's tips will be helpful for you, and I hope you have a wonderful celebration with your family for Turkey Day, or if you call it Thanksgiving, that's up to you. Comment below on what you're going to be having this holiday season with your family, or if you're cooking, let me know what you're cooking, girl. I might want to stop through. And of course, if you've got questions or topics that you want me to cover on a Super Mama Sunday, put that down in the comment section below too. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a single Super Mama Sunday episode. I'll catch you next Super Mama Sunday. Peace.